Anybody that's been listening to us for a while, usually you realize that if you subscribe to Patreon, generally we were making up what we're going to be talking about while we're doing our Patreon content. A lot of times we'll come up with really new stuff. And one of the things that I mentioned tonight was a little show that's very unlike what we normally have for content, but a little show, a kid show called Bluey.
Yes.
It's an Australian show that features a family of blue and red healers. And one of the things that I was discussing with the guys a little bit during the Patreon episode is, when you have kids shows, they're almost always the same format, in that when you're a parent or an adult, just adult in general, but especially a parent, you're watching it and it's kind of like, this is for kids. This is it's over the top for kids. It's because the whole idea is to keep kids engaged with it. It's so that they will be good and you can do whatever you need to do during the day, clean the house or whatever you need to do. This show, the good thing about this show is this show isn't necessarily geared towards kids. It's geared towards dads, parents in general. And they encourage you to watch this just through the content alone. They don't put a disclaimer up. The content alone makes you want to sit down and watch this with your children.
Yep.
Because it's all about games that you can play. And it's very centered on the dad doing games with his children.
That's awesome.
And it's wholesome as you would expect it to be. But it's actually, I mean, I'm hooked on it. I don't have children, and I love watching this because the content itself is just incredibly wholesome. It's really easy to digest. They're short episodes, and it's actually one of the writers of the show was from Peppa Pig. So it does have that similar art style ish, but it's also a little more three-dimensional. So it's not so simplistic. And I really appreciate that. It's a good show.
Yeah.
So if you want to pick something up, it's on Disney Plus. You can watch it. That's where I'm sure most everybody watches it.
I think it's aired on it's on the Disney Channel too. It's in their rotation. So if you don't have Disney Plus, set your DVR and get it that way too.
Yeah. And Brock, I don't think you've seen it, right? But I know Bo, you have.
Yeah, well, I'm reminded Oliver's, I want to say 6th birthday party was Bluey themed. So we've been there. And the great thing about it is Bluey, the main character, is a girl dog healer, but it's very relatable to both boys and girls. Like the main character is, very, it isn't overly girly or overly tomboyish. It's very good. It's very fun. Like I want to say the voice of Bandit, like I said, the dad character, which everybody he's universally loved. Like he sets the bar high for dad goals that you need to be. But I want to say he was in a rock band. I can't remember. It was something Australian, so I'm not sure. But we watched it. Like I said, we first watched it when it was on Disney Plus. We watched the first few seasons that way. And Bluey, it's very good. Like it's very. I'm trying to think some of the episodes that always gets me, because you get the whole family, but
it's more often than not it's the dad. It's focused on the dad. Like the last episode, and granted, I'm just watching through them at this point. And the last episode that I watched, they were playing the two kids and the dad were playing hotel.
Yeah.
So they somehow these dogs have like this massive house.
Yeah.
It's very Australian themed, like the nice open windows, and you can see the things going on outside. And it's the whole thing about the parents playing games with their children. Like at one point, the kids decide that they want to play horsey, and then they want to have the horses marry each other. It's like all the stuff that when you're kids, you do this. But I don't know about you guys, but growing up, I would get together with my cousins and things. We would just do stuff like that ourselves. You never really had your parents, at least mine, the adults didn't participate in that. And just seeing something where you've got writers and just a story where you can actually get the parents involved and encourage them. That's a lot of. You don't see that a lot.
Well, like one episode that sticks out with me is they want to, the two characters, Bingo and Bluey, they're sisters. They want to have a special evening for their parents. They want them to have a romantic dinner. So they have a they set up a restaurant. They're doing it. Well, then it comes down to the point at the end where they're offered the special of the day, which it's nothing but like what kids threw together out of the refrigerator. and the kids put it there, and they put the mom on the spot. She's kind of like, no, thank you, I'm full. But the dad's like, the big sad eyes. Well, the dad eats it. Well, then it cuts to the dad running to the yard, and he's you can tell he's regurgitating it up. and like I said, I want to say somehow it works out was I pictured romance looking different, and it's actually the dad ate the food, and the mom is very happy that he did it. So there's.
Yeah, a lot of the themes that I've noticed are pretty on point. Like at the end of the day, it's focused a lot on the dad.
Yeah.
And the dad will be like worn out, and you'll just see him like laid out in the living room, and the mom is like doing laundry or doing tidying up the house afterwards, and the dad's in there laying out like having dreams and just it's just incredibly wholesome. And when it comes to kids shows, and I hope you guys get what I'm saying about the difference is like, there are kids shows that are overwhelmingly kid that like really it's the target audience is it's kids, and this show it's not. That's what kind of blew me away about watching it. And one of the reasons we wanted to bring this up is because Bluey has been around for a while, but lately it started to make the rounds on the internet that this is something that anybody can watch. And I was like, and of course I'm sitting, I go bet. And I would have lost that bet because I started watching it. I'm like, just a couple of nights ago, my girlfriend's over and she's over here at the house. She's taking a shower and she comes out of the shower and her boyfriend's in there watching a kid show. And she's like, what in the heck is going on?
Oh, there's
it's Bluey though.
There's a few episodes that tug your heartstrings. Like I can't remember exactly one, but it isn't Bluey, but it's two kid characters that are you may have seen this one, Kevin. But there's one of the dog characters. He's very fidgety. Like I think when he says like ADD, he has a hard time focusing on things. Well, they pair him with another boy dog who his dad's in the military, so he's very structured, very whatever. And he they finds a way that makes the other one. The other one kind of focus and help. And the whole episode's leading up how the boy's talking about how his dad was in the military. He hasn't been home in a long time. And then after he's helped his one brother, the other boy dog, at the end of the episode, you see the father who's the military, he shows up there at the end. So it's kind of, there's a couple. I haven't
seen that one yet.
Oh, I'll try to find the episode title for it. Like I said, I've watched so much of it, but I haven't watched it in a while. So I'm going by what's, rattling up in the brain.
Don't worry, I'm binging them right now, so it's I will get to it.
I will tell you this though. Like I said, our good friend Ron Daniels, Brock, we contemplated dressing up as the two grannies characters, which I know Kevin remembers the grannies. Yeah, we've talked about for Dragon Con just because our kids were watching Bluey around the same time as the big blankets, glasses.
Yes,
the grannies. It's Bluey and her sister Bingo. They pretend to be old ladies, and it is hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious.
Okay.
Like I keep rattling off Bluey for a while, so sorry.
No, it's all good.
Well, Kevin, Cora is a blue healer, right?
Yeah.
Cora is she is a terrier, Jack Russell Terrier and Blue Heeler mix.
Okay.
So
all right.
Yeah, I call her a cattle rustler because it's just kind of like
But there's other breeds of dogs in there. There's bulldogs, and they address like I want to say, is it the toy poodle that talks about being smaller than everybody but helping out? There's the episode with the toy poodle. Like it's very life experience relatability.
It really is. I mean, one of the last episodes I watched was that it was one of the first episodes. And granted, I'm still in like the first season, but it was like one of the episodes was showing different dogs, and one of the dogs was having trouble getting across the jungle gym, and then then you're just sitting there, and Bluey and the dad are just sitting there observing everybody, trying to figure things out. And then Bingo figures out that in order to get the water from the water fountain, that she can just hold it down long enough until it floods, and then she drinks it off the ground.
Yeah.
Instead, they're like, "Oh God, that's gross, Bingo." So it's like the dogs have the same mannerisms as humans in this case. So. It is weird. I mean, sometimes it's weird because, like you said, the episode where they're playing romance and he runs out of the yard to throw up instead of running to the bathroom. So it's like they still have dog tendencies, but at the same time they have human tendencies as well. So it just kind of makes it just hilarious to watch.
I'm trying to think. You got me rattling off episodes. I'm trying to think. There's one episode. There's a great episode. Or I want to say.
They're all good though.
Steve Irwin's son. Is it Robert?
Robert Irwin.
He has a voiceover actor in it, and he's a zookeeper.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's wild.
Art imitates life.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to say that one's in there. Have you seen the Feather Wand episode, Kevin?
No.
Well, basically, Feather gets into the household, and Bluey uses it as a magic wand to make everything heavy. And the maniacal laughter that Bingo makes is so adorable and hilarious at the same time. So
all in all, guys, if you haven't watched Bluey, it doesn't matter whether you're an adult or not. I mean, look,
you will enjoy it.
I don't have kids myself. And when it went around the net that this was the show that everybody could watch and very easy, I was like, yeah, I doubt it. It's a kid's show, and I did.
Maybe think, have you seen episodes with Muffin yet? She is the gray and white cousin that's a little very spoiled.
Yes, because I saw an episode where yes, I do believe so. Because Muffin also have a little brother?
Yes.
The one that, like, the first episode they come in, Muffin has a little brother that was tearing up one of Bluey's toys.
Yes. He's it's like I said, it's Muffin is very relatable to a lot of very spoiled and children you're going to agree with. You'll understand when you see it, but Muffin has caused a lot of good laughs from me.
Muffin is interesting because that's the episode where they're having the dads play horsey, and then Muffin is very insistent that the horsies need to be married.
Yes. Yeah, but I promise you, it's nothing like your convictions on anything. Like it's very funny. It's still it is a traditional safe kids show for what you know.
Well, that's a good point. Actually, is how some kid shows will get political a little bit.
Yeah.
with certain issues, and you'll see the writer's intent come through. And this show, the way they handle it is, if it's something that's kind of racy, it'll just be kind of imaginary. They'll handle it like it's imaginary, like it's an imaginary something, or that they never make you uncomfortable with.
You're going to have to look for something to make you mad to be upset at it. You got to be really like very, it's enjoyable for everybody. Yep. It's not good. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, we are absolutely telling you, including Brock. Brock's got a long list of shows he needs to watch. But Brock, you really need to sit down and watch Bluey, man.
Yes.
Bluey's a good show. It's really good, and it's really light, and the episodes are really short.
I said the two of us who watched it, we are nowhere near the core demographic, but you see how much we're ranting and raving about it.
It's an incredible show. And I mean, let's be honest. It's an Australian show.
Mm-hmm.
I love Australia. It's blue healers and red healers. I love that. That was the big draw for me.
You keep thinking of me random episodes. I'm sorry, I keep going back to it. But have you watched the episode with the surgery where they perform surgery on the dad?
No.
In the hospital? Like they're playing hospital. Oh, you're going to love that one. Let me know when you watch that one. Let me know when you watch that one.
I'll do it. You see? You guys need to just watch Bluey. We're totally... This is what happens when Jess isn't here. We're talking about kids shows.
Yeah.
Jess would be like, what are you guys talking about?
Jess has talked about wanting to watch it for a while, and primarily because of Ron. Ron has mentioned it several times, but like I said earlier, I've got a lot of boxes I got to go through. Like I'll have some time to watch some stuff at some point.
You don't even really have to. I mean, it's one of those shows that it's not even. Obviously, it's better if you watch it, but you can just listen to it, and it's still good. It's really good.
I'm thinking off parenting episodes. There's one episode where the youngest daughter, Bingo, she finally sleeps in her bed by herself the whole night.
Mm-hmm.
And as a parent, that'll be another one that hits home with you because the mom's very, the mom's very protective about it. That one's another good one. I'm sorry, I keep rattling them off because they're coming to me.
That was in the first season. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
That one's very powerful stuff for parenthood wise. I mean, even if you're not a parent, it's still relatable. Even you as a kid.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, they in one of the later episodes of season 1, Bluey is trying to imagine himself as a fruit bat.
Oh yes,
and he's trying to dream, and they all go to bed, and then Bingo is over in her bed, and he's like, "Do you want to?" He tries to go over and get her to wake up so that they can play fruit bats, and she's like already passed out, like and just the view of like how she's like all contorted and weird.
Yeah, kids sleeping.
That's like a kid sleep, right there. Yeah, like I'm like these people know kids when they write this. This is exactly they're like. You can tell the writers are pulling this like straight out of like history of what they've run into. So yeah, definitely you don't have to be a parent. You just be an adult that wants to see a wholesome show. Try Bluey.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's very, very good. I recommend it.
There you go. Well, I certainly didn't anticipate doing a deep dive on Bluey for this episode, and I've loved it. So we'll definitely give it a try.
We're just gonna have to do a segment where Bo just goes over all of his favorite episodes of Bluey.
Oh, there's too many of them. I could keep going. Like I said, I haven't watched many of the newer ones, but yeah. Hey, our family, we look forward to the new episodes of Bluey on Disney Plus. When it was, it released, I think weekly, they were doing it.
It looked like, based on what I saw from, at the very least, the credits, it looks like it's a BBC thing.
Yeah, it's tied in through them, I think. With Australia.
BBC, and it's Australian broadcast company, I believe, and then it goes through BBC, and then I guess Disney Plus gets it because of their involvement. Disney Plus seems to have signed some agreement with BBC with their content because Disney Plus is going to be getting the new Doctor Who stuff. So with BBC,
I wonder if this was kind of what swung them. They're like, "Hey, you see, we got this going on. We got Bluey. We could probably swing Doctor Who. Yeah,
it was basically like, we'll take Doctor Who as long as you give us Bluey.
Yeah.
We gotta have Bluey. We need that child demographic. Okay.
Yeah.
We're Disney.